Hi guys, it's Carrie with Happy Fish Tarot. So this week I've been thinking a lot about the fact that we live in this world where the opinions and the thoughts and the art and the words of other people are constantly paraded through our awareness. So we have social media, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll, it never ends. We have books, we have magazines, Netflix, and I really like all of this to an extent. I mean, being able to communicate so quickly and exchange information, it can really help us have a lot of progress and it can help us innovate. But it can also get to the point where we feel kind of overwhelmed and where we consume and consume and consume without really creating. So a few years ago, I worked through The Artist's Way, which I've mentioned a few times in my blogs and videos. It's a book and a creative recovery course by Julia Cameron. And one of the exercises in The Artist's Way is a reading detox, or as I'm calling it, a media detox. So the book was originally published in 1992, before the internet was really kind of permeating our lives the way it is now. But the idea here is you spend a week without reading anything and no social media, no TV, no YouTube, newspapers, nothing. So if it sounds pretty brutal, that's because it kind of is. It's a tough thing to do, especially today where we have, smartphones and all of this world of information is literally at our fingertips. But I know I did it once, so I did this, like I said, a few years ago when I first worked through The Artist's Way, and I can tell with where I am right now in my life, it's necessary for me to do this again. So from today forward for the next week, I am going to be taking a media detox. And the reason for this is I can really just tell that I'm becoming easily distracted, right? So my phone is always, blooping and bleeping and all these little notifications. And then I'll find myself just kind of sitting there scrolling through Instagram for, 20 minutes at a time or whatnot. And I'm also getting to the point where I compare my own creative output to others because the creative outputs of others are so easily accessible. As I thought about this concept of taking a media detox this week, I found myself thinking a lot about the Seven of Swords. So this card is sometimes traditionally associated with like deceit and slyness, but when I looked at the card this week, I was looking at it from a kind of different angle. So swords represent thoughts, right, in the mental realm, and the figure on the card seems to have kind of gathered his own thoughts or his own swords, and then he's leaving two behind. So those would, in this case, represent the thoughts of others or the media at large, and he's walking away from a series of tents. And when I see these tents, I think of the entertaining yet overwhelming circus of the media. When I look at it this way, the figure on this card seems to me like he's going off and he's going to take his own path for a while. So kind of get his own mental bearings, minimize outside influences, get away from kind of all the gibberish out of the world so that he can find his own originality. If you're a creative type person, which I know a lot of you are, you can probably see the benefits of doing this for yourself, so taking a week-long media detox. And if you haven't already done so, I would challenge you to really truthfully observe how much of your time and mental energy you're spending enchanted by this media circus. And if you are like me, you might be surprised by the answer. So what do you think? Do you think you could take a media detox for a week? Would that be beneficial for you? I'm interested to hear what other people think about this. And if you do think this is something that would be beneficial for you, what do you think you could do with the extra time and the mental energy that you have that you wouldn't be devoting to media? So I've been thinking about this for myself, and I have a lot of ideas I'm actually kind of excited about. I want to go on some nice long walks. I want to work on writing my own things, so work on my novel. I really want to write some poetry. I used to write a lot of poetry, and I haven't done that actually for probably years now. I want to do a little bit of cleaning. I know that's not too exciting, but hey, it needs to get done. Sort my bookshelves, dust them off. Like to do a little yoga, listen to some records. So when I think about just all the little patches of time that I spend, going through my phone or watching a show on Netflix or whatever, I'm excited to see what I can come up with for this week and just kind of take a break from all of that bombardment. I'll still be posting a little bit on Facebook as well as Instagram, but only to share my original creations and my original words. I'm not going to be scrolling through the feeds at all. And once this week is up, I will start consuming media again, but what I really want to try for is to be more conscious. So leave behind the kind of junk food media and focus on the really healthy, thoughtful, the media that I really take away some good things from. So that's what I will be doing this week, and maybe you can try it for yourself. Thank you, as always, for checking in with me. I do put out videos every Tuesday, so check back with me again soon, and you can visit me over at happyfishtarot.com. I am available for private readings, and I will still be doing those during this week. So thank you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.